Now we've determined that the camera's exposure meter is trying to achieve an average of 18% grey across the entire image. Now, most of the images have got loads of different types of tones, different densities of tones, but it's trying to achieve a balance of about 80% across the entire image. But we do have certain abilities to control the way it's making this judgment. So that's what we'll cover now. So most cameras have options for selecting different areas in the scene to calculate the exposure correctly. So let's have a look at this. Is a typical Canon type of exposure system. Evaluative system, and this is where it includes intelligent evaluation of the scene. Some cameras have actually got a database of types of images where it can kind of determine what images it's looking at and give you a reasonable approximation of the correct exposure, even if there are some really tricky lighting conditions like this area here in the scene. So this is a kind of intelligent method of exposure determination. It's probably the best one to have set on your camera for general usage. We have partial metering, and this is where it looks at, for the Canon cameras anyhow, about 6% of the image just in this area here. So it's taken an exposure of that part of the scene only. Now we have what's called spot metering, and it's taken an area from 1.5% of the viewfinder image. So this is looking at the viewfinder, and it's only taken an exposure area here. Some cameras may allow you to actually move where this point is set, but for this illustration it's directly in the middle. And for some types of images, this is a great way of getting the correct exposure, because you can point the camera at the subject that you wish to expose for, depress the button, the shutter button halfway, get the exposure right, recompose the image, and then take the picture. So spot metering has its usage. And then we come to center weight average metering. This used to be a kind of default in the old film camera days, so it takes a priority from around the center here, but it also takes into account areas like this. So by choosing the appropriate one of these settings, you may have different settings on your camera, but just try and see which ones of these would be most appropriate for the type of pictures that you're taking.